When it comes to gun laws, it doesn't matter if you're actually a dangerous person, a threat to yourself or anyone else, or if you're just minding your own business. The government will destroy your life if it finds an opportunity to do so. Today we're giving a quick update to the situation regarding Alan's son. For those of you that weren't around when we talked about this before, let's give you a quick update on what happened and what is currently going on, and then we're going to kind of talk about more of the risks that come with non-compliance. Many of you choose to go the route of non-compliance, and I think that's great. I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, but I think we should understand the risks that do come with it, because this might just be the thing that knocks on your door one day. Before we get going though, I want to say thank you to the sponsor of this channel, Franklin Armory. Huge supporters of me, huge supporters of the state of California with their CA7, 11, and 12. Hopefully they got something soon. I can't wait to see what it is they come up with next. I got no clue if anything's going on, but they seem to keep knocking the ball out of the park when it comes to their California compliant stuff and allowing us to get our rights back with various products or lawsuits. Thank you, Franklin Armory. When it comes to Alan's son, what actually went down? Alan's son was a man who lived with a couple who were husband and wife. At one point, that husband and wife got into a little bit of an argument. Someone called the cops. The cops came because they believed there was a domestic dispute. At the time that the cops came, it was many hours later. Thank you, police. Great job. At that point, the couple was gone, no longer at the premises, leaving Alan's son to be the only person there. Alan was a resident of the home. He did not make the phone call from what we know. And when the police showed up, he said no, basically he didn't want anything to do with it. He was not the ones that was involved with the situation. The people that were no longer there. The police enter because apparently they have the right to do so. I'm not sure about that. It's going to be a sticky situation. Maybe that ends up being helpful for him, but it seems unlikely. So police enter, do a search of the home for the people that they were believing to be there for. At which point they look into his room, they see a whole bunch of assault weapons. And now, reminder, I'm putting that in air quotes because I don't agree with these laws. Please stop getting mad at me when I say the word assault weapon. When discussing the law, we have to use the legal text regardless of whether or not we agree with it. They find his assault weapons, they book him. He eventually gets off on bail of about $30,000, I believe it was. Time goes forward, now we're nearly half a year later, and it's looking like they upped his bail to $420,000 and have him booked on at least 14 different charges for assault weapons and potentially even SBR violations or NFA violations for an SBR. The government is really just throwing the book at him because they know they can. This seems like a tactic that they're going to be using to get him to plead down, because when it comes to the state of California, if you have an assault weapon, each individual gun is its own charge. So if you're breaking one assault weapon law, it almost makes sense to just break all of them, because bare minimum, you're going to be going to jail most likely. I mean, honestly, this isn't legal advice. It's probably not a smart thing to do. Whatever you do, that's on you and that's your own decisions. This is just a situation where a man who was minding his own business, did nothing wrong, did nothing violent to anyone, is now being boned by the government. We saw a similar situation with Fang Yang earlier last year when he had one magazine that was over 10 rounds, and there was some sort of, I believe he lived with someone that was a prohibited person, and Fang Yang had in his possession one 15-round mag for his Beretta, and the cops confiscated that and booked him on assault weapon charges. Those charges were later dropped. Now, we also got a similar situation with Greg Wong. Greg Wong went to downtown LA with some firearms and night vision and stuff in order to aid and assist with what was going on with them. He was booked on 80% charges, assault weapon charges, and I think some other stuff, basically like, I don't know, maybe impersonating a peace officer or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he was charged with, but those charges have since been reduced and dropped, and Greg Wong looks like he's still going to be able to own firearms, which is awesome. If you are interested in hearing Greg Wong's side of the story and hearing how many people, including myself, reported information that apparently was in fact wrong and want to hear his side of the story, let me know. I might be able to set up some sort of interview with him or something. Ultimately, that'll be later down the road. The big thing that we need to learn here is that when you choose to not comply, there are risks that you must accept. Things that you do might have consequences. Now, many people in the state of California, the amount of you that tell me that you just straight up don't comply with the law, I think that's awesome. I think that it's great that you're choosing your rights over the risk and understanding that those are your choices. There's a lot of you out there. Most of you probably won't get caught. In fact, I would say it's very, very rare that someone gets caught with an assault weapon when they are knowingly choosing to go the route of dangerous freedom as opposed to compliance. Now, I think that's something that's cool, but it's something that you do have to understand. You could get unlucky. I've always used the example, let's say there's a fire in your house and then the fire investigator comes through and they're a peace officer, they're law enforcement. What if they happen to see, while they're doing their fire investigation, they see a full auto SBR in the closet next to where it was burnt? Do they then inform the police? When they do those investigations, there's just any little random thing could go wrong and could lead you to being in a position where now your life is ruined. So I think it's just something that I want people to be very aware, be very mindful of the risk, and then make the right decision for you. I'm not telling you to comply. I'm not telling you to not comply. I'm just saying, understand what's going on, make the choice that's right for you. And honestly, if you're a big Chad, some people just straight up don't care to begin with. So honestly, the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace. Also, at the time of this video going live, I will most likely be live over on Twitch. I'm just going to be working out, doing a real quick arm workout. If you guys want to discuss, have conversation, I think that would be an excellent time to do so. I'm going to be also dry firing some firearms, something that I can't do on YouTube. I think I'm going to be switching my live streams, which I might do maybe weekly, over to Twitch, because YouTube just straight up doesn't allow me to touch guns. A lot of people have said things like, hey, why don't you just say that those are airsoft? I might be able to get away with that for a little while, but YouTube doesn't like us on this platform. I try to follow the rules as best as possible. You got to understand the rules to work within the rules when it comes to YouTube here. I would love to be able to do more stuff on this platform, but it's just really not the most conducive. And I know a lot of people are saying things like, hey, switch over to XYZ platform and just upload your videos only there from now on. I don't necessarily see that as being conducive to the main goal of this channel. I hope that I'm able to educate people and reach people in the middle. And I realize that I sound sick right now. I don't know what that is with my voice. It just is what it is right now. When it comes to reaching people, I want to reach people that don't already agree with us. I want to get someone that's maybe on the fence, like, they're gun curious, and I want to get them over to us and get them interested. Because if I just go over to a platform where it's just an echo chamber, we're not actually really making any progress. We're just kind of like trying to hold the line in the sand. Whereas when we're using these platforms that don't really want us here, I think we have a better chance to reach the general audience. And I think that's ultimately why I'm going to stay on YouTube as my primary source. I'm going to try to find some other alternative platform to upload concurrently, just to have a backup and an archive in case. We've seen a lot of people like Grantham, we've seen a lot of people like Mr. Guns and Gear and Colion Noir specifically targeted. And that's something that it's kind of interesting, because I got a DM from someone on Instagram talking about that. They said, hey, this list is floating around of people that are on the shit list. And they said specifically, it's curious who's on it, but it's curious who's not on it. And they said that my name was not on that list. Now, yeah, when you look at that initial email that was sent out by that company, I don't think that's necessarily the same thing. But the names that they listed were all the big guys. I'm still kind of in that D-tier gun YouTuber realm. I'm pretty small relatively to the people that have been around for the last 10 years. So ultimately, I think that I'm kind of operating in this weird spot where they haven't quite caught on to me being here yet. They will probably eventually, and they will probably eventually do bad things to this channel, and I'm not pleased about that. But in the meantime, I hope that we can reach as many people as possible. I appreciate you tagging along for this rant. Moral of the story, I will be live on Twitch at the time this video goes live. Thank you.